Hello, everyone. Welcome to our boring enterprise Nerdletter talk. As usual, my partner in crime, Paul Moderman, and myself, Elena Perfileva, we gathered to discuss potential stories for the next week's boring enterprise Nerdletter. So sit back and relax while we share with you our thoughts on some of the hottest subjects of the week or the month. And I do have some bonus content, so this will be exclusive for your eyes only. This is not going into newsletter. So
Subscribe,
yes,
paid subscribers only.
yeah, paid subscribers only premium tier subscribers are allowed to see that. Everyone else, please turn off your video before we go to bonus voluntarily. We're like that. Remember that Albanian virus thing from like I think late 90s? It was like, please install me. So that's kind of like that. But all right, enough with the laughs. Let's go to more laughs with our story. So if that's
all the
okay,
ha-has are done.
yeah, enough. Haha. So Paul, if that's okay with you, I will just shamelessly
Go
start
for it.
with myself, and we'll just go for it. Okay. So all right. So first story is about Project Karen Cipher. It's one of those strange names like steampunk that SAP picks, but I'm sure it will be renamed later on. So this is kind of, remember how like clean core concept, that's kind of a big deal, and people were asking, how do we know like how clean is our core essentially.
Yeah.
So it is essentially kind of solution to that problem. And what it is in essence is ATC check with special rules. And good thing about it that everyone can use it, not just like SAP Rise customers, which is
Mm.
great. Um, the only thing about it, it requires, I think, pretty recent ABAP version. I think it's 7.5 something. I don't remember, but what
Mhm.
I found, even in our internal test system, we were not yet on that level. We are getting an upgrade soon, so I
Oh,
haven't got a
really?
chance to try it myself. We were like literally like almost like one support pack away from it or something.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's like when I went to, so there is SAP Node that has this stuff, but when you go to install it, if it says like Node cannot be installed, that's why you're most like your ABAP stack is just not there yet. But if you have, I think 2023 S/4HANA on-premise
Yeah.
or private
Yeah.
cloud system, that should work.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to checking this out myself, but I thought I would just start writing about this, at least to spread awareness. And so that if someone else is in the same situation when they need to upgrade a little bit to use it, they could start banging on the doors and asking for
Hmm.
upgrades. All right. So that's the first one. Second one is it's a little bit kind of hidden but not so hidden information. SAP has been posting about this SAP customer and partner roundtables for SAP BTP ABAP environment. And when you see that, it's kind of easy to just dismiss this as potentially either some kind of sales activity or another SAP marketing event because it has
Hmm.
like customer
Hmm.
partner, it has SAP
Yeah.
BTP, but what it actually is it's a kind of it's they're recorded events, but it's a real-time conversation and some demos between some folks from SAP, but also participants either from community or from some select partners. But really, everyone is invited. All you need to do, you need to watch when the invite comes in for the next month, which is somewhat difficult now with SAP community. But I do stumble on those posts usually
Hmm.
beforehand, before the event. So everyone everyone can register and join. And what's happening there. I did watch the recordings for the previous session, so I just bookmarked this. They do not only post on SAP community, but also actually have very nice collection of all the recordings and information from the previous events. So I went back like from the beginning of the year and watched some parts of these presentations. What I found especially good about it is it's first of all, as always, it's very nice to connect with people real time so that you can ask questions. So you can actually hear from SAP people who are in charge of some parts of ABAP at least, and
Hmm.
you can hear latest news first of all, what's like new being released, what's
Hmm.
coming soon. You can ask questions, have discussion. Bad thing about it is that it usually runs in only like European time zone because I don't think I've ever been able to join those in person just because in the US it's middle of the night
Yeah.
when it runs. I did ask in the latest announcement if they have plans to maybe kind of rotate because I know some events they do try to accommodate at least sometimes different time zones. And so I've
Yeah.
heard that maybe in a couple of months there also might be an event that would fit America and other time zones. So that's great to hear. However, even if you just want to watch recordings, um, I actually was surprised that some of the subjects that you see that are partner presentations, they're actually pretty good because people
Yeah.
did not talk just about the solution. It's not like, oh, no, solution does like this crap and that crap, but they actually went into the technologies behind it. So they gave
These
all the
these
details.
these roundtables, both this BTP ABAP steampunk ones, and even some of the other roundtables that SAP either does or has done in the past,
Yeah,
I've been pleasantly surprised by, oh, I'm not being shown a price sheet,
yeah,
right? I'm not being sold to just right out of the gate. It really is, for the most part. I've always been like, oh, I'm learning things. Oh, how delightful, right? That kind
yeah,
of feeling of that.
yeah. And even presentations like from SAP, I found the kind of style and tone somehow much better than what you would see on the official post because
Yeah.
there was a very early, let me just scroll down to I think beginning of the year. So yeah, there, like January. So that's like in AI terms, it's like 10 years ago. So there was a presentation about that infamous jewel for ABAP
Yeah.
and it was done by Alexander Rother himself and Jens Weiler. So it was, I mean, I'm still not like a huge fan about Joule for ABAP, and it's not even still accessible to broad developer community in the first place. However, this presentation itself, it was much, I think, much more practical and more kind of toned down marketing and more talking about specific and practical use cases than
Mhm.
the material that SAP put out after that when it was announced for like general availability. So
when when somebody in Waldorf went and slapped the big red hype button.
yeah. Start the hype cycle. It's like conveyor, emergency shutdown, emergency
there's, a,
start.
there's a guy
It's
shoveling
like
coal into a hype steam
yeah.
engine. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're interested in Joule for ABAP, I honestly still recommend, even though it's all, still recommend going back and watching this presentation
Mhm.
versus all others. I did watch quite a bit on that, honestly, to to the point of light nausea, but this was probably the least bad of them all. And so ABAP ID actions as well. There was a blog post about this. I'm still not quite sure like what they're for, but I really like the presentation again because it's not like hyped up marketing style. It's just, professional to professional conversation and just having really practical discussion and seeing questions from others. Even though I could not participate in real time, that was helpful for myself. So highly recommend going through some of those and even picking up some of the partner presentations and demos because they're just really, really good. And so I'm heavy heavy on the GitHub today. The third one, it's honestly just here is a link, like one of those lazy subjects. So none
Yeah.
other but Lars the goat Vam would put this out as a kind of repository of, I don't know, reference for developers who are interested in and I really like a steampunkification. It's kind of more adapting ABAP cloud programming model versus classic model. So what Lars has here is really just referenced, like here is your on-prem stuff and here is your steampunk stuff. You can see literally just class names one versus the other. And when I look at this, I'm like, yes, this is exactly what
Yeah.
developers need
Yeah.
when they're looking to do like, oh, how can we do like clean core? How can we adopt more modern solutions or programming models in this case? Honestly, SAP really should do just that. I know
Yeah, no
they
kidding.
have done some work in this area and they think probably it's awesome, but honestly, something exactly like this, like here is before, here is after, clear like mapping, that's perfect to me. And there are some code examples as well. So, and I'm sure this will be worked on and expanded as we go. So check
Yeah.
this out and contribute and yeah, and maybe
Big,
throw,
big, big hearts and shout out to Lars for this stuff.
yeah,
And
yeah,
the other contributors too.
yeah, and so yeah, give a shout out to people who contribute to those. All right, so now for the bonus content. So if you're not premium plus subscriber, just yeah, you
Turn
have
off
to
your
miss this
camera.
stuff. All right, all right. So just a quick shout out to very interesting episode on the SAP on Azure uh, podcast, and they also have this on YouTube. So this is like ultimate mashup of SAP Joule and Microsoft Copilot. So I don't know. This is like some kind of essence of of AI solutions for enterprise software. So check this out. This is like kind of mega episode, and yeah, take a look if you're interested in the subject. And this is where,
It's the team up we've all been waiting for.
yeah, exactly, this
It's
like a
the
showdown,
Avengers
yeah.
and the X-Men together.
Exactly, exactly. It's like Batman meets Superman or something like that. Right. And so this is kind of random article that just crossed my social media feed, and I opened it. I always like pure kind of human, good old human writing that is kind of funny, but also very insightful and informative. And of course, it had me at most websites are awful. It's just great opening for for any article, but
Just lead with the
yeah.
stab,
Yeah,
and you got
exactly.
Yelena.
Just
Yeah.
yeah, this is a like ultimate hook. Like, okay, okay, I'm in. Like, let's read about how websites are awful, but it's not just like a clickbait or something. It really insightful article from SEO um, experts and talking about JavaScript and web and SEO and all that stuff. So highly recommend just to read it. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna write about this, but it's really interesting and I wanted to showcase this one. All right, so that's all for me and it's over to
Totally.
you,
Yeah.
Paul.
Okay. Sure. First up is I think this has been out for maybe a year or so. I had not heard of SAP S/4HANA Cloud Safekeeper,
Mm,
which is, I guess, a product or a SKU that customers can have, which is designed specifically for the older versions of S/4HANA private stuff,
mm,
which are like
yeah,
1503, 16, all these old numbers. I don't even know which ones, if this something real or not, but like these old S4 versions that, you know, if your S4 is 6, 7, 8, 9, even 10 years old, like, sorry,
yeah,
buddy, you got some problems. And so this is actually an offering from SAP around um, upgrade services with the cloud safekeeper.
Mm.
So the interesting thing is, and I want to find out more about this, is that there's also an offering for regression
Mm.
testing,
Yeah, that's
which is
interesting.
interesting because like I kind of typically view that as like, and maybe my perspective is wrong, but I kind of view regression testing as really like the customer should kind of drive that because like it's your business system doing your business,
Mm.
and you know what I mean, like you need to make sure it works with your shit essentially,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
I mean, I can see the path to automating or servicifying some of this stuff, but I need to find out more about this particular offering for this because that's an interesting thing to me. Another thing is that on the infrastructure side, uh, SAP provides a non-productive sandbox system that helps you kind of look at the new stuff, which is very interesting. Up to 6 terabytes or TB bytes if you're being super pedantic with the reading here, and some other maintenance services like SAP notes, impressions, and blah blah blah. All this kind of basic stuff. But the thing that makes me think about this is like I I don't know if I'm aware of a world where it's so lucrative for the vendor to sell you things that maintain the things that they sold you,
Yeah.
right? Like Cloud ALM, Cloud Safekeeper, all this other kind of stuff. Like there's so many ways to buy more things that just make the things you already bought maybe work the way they are supposed to. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Like I'm sure this is a thing that some people need, especially these like super brownfield types from back when there was no such thing as
Yeah.
like the clean core didn't exist as a concept then. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Um, but yeah. So further reading. Oh, this is the regression testing actual service here. So I have to go read this more in depth and find out more about what that is. But like, um, it's the regression testing is aimed at, okay, it looks like it's aimed at like the really old S4 stuff. Okay, so we'll find out more. But that's what I want to write about is this offering here, and then some complaints about buying things that maintain the things you already bought, and then
Yeah.
buying more things to maintain those things. And like at some point, there's a treadmill you can't escape, and it like the hamster like spins around with the
Yeah.
thing, you know? Yeah. Um, Another one. I have some other things, but not all of them have websites. So
Mm.
this one is yeah, it's about AI. So everyone chill out because that's because I'm gonna write about AI for one of my three things again. But what I like about this guy's writing is that he kind of threads the needle and kind of punches at both sides of the debate, right? Of like, these hypesters are freaking crazy. And all these skeptics who are like cross their arms and say blah blah blah, they're crazy too. That they're wild. Why are you like that? Lots of good points about those things in here. Um, and also a few things that I think I disagree with a little bit too. But I think it's very much in the spirit of like nitpicky disagreement and not overall disagreement, right?
Mm.
So yeah, so a couple things, but what I like is that like as I reflect on like AI hype, I think even for somebody like me who's like the most Kool-Aid drinking like off in space like hypester that anybody would ever
Yeah.
meet, I think that actually the hype itself usually almost always is a complete disservice to what you're trying to do. Because
Yeah.
even if I wanted to convince somebody to be as hyped as I am about it, the hype way of going about doing that fails, right? Like it's like the hype itself is obscuring the message, even if you want to like increase the hype. altogether, right? So
Mm-hmm.
there's that. And then at the same time, like I'm not a skeptic hater either, right? Like
Yeah.
like people who are skeptical who don't like it, like I totally see their point. And like over the years, various experiments we've done that I've done with certain things, I'm like, bro, I totally get your skepticism. I
Mm.
totally get it. Um, and I'm sure that many people still have these weird niche cases or their own like environments where they can't or won't the AI stuff won't work for them yet, or maybe even not even soon. I don't even know, right? But like
Mm.
I like even if I still view myself as like I want to bring everybody to the hype train, like I have to not just nod at, but like acknowledge the skeptics and acknowledge the truth of their like bad experiences too, right? And something I've been trying to do a little bit, and I haven't done it as good as I want to, but something I try to do is like if I see somebody like online, LinkedIn or Twitter or whatever, right, who is like, I don't know about this. This seems blah blah blah. I like I try to just ask them, hey, no preconceived whatever. Just tell me what you hated about this, right? Because sometimes there's the like it's like the complaint has no substance to it, right? The complaint is just a complaint
Mm.
and not with like the details of what you want to like tell me more. And I promise not to tell you you prompted wrong. I promise not to
Mm.
tell you you used the wrong tool. I just want to understand the perspective
Mm.
people have when they do these things because that perspective, that human like psychological perspective, is basically the entire story of why it works for some people, it doesn't work for other people, and why it helps some people, it doesn't help some other people. Like it's that's the whole reason. Expectations are all over the map, and hype doesn't serve that. Bad expectations doesn't serve that. Getting into like crusty old people arguments doesn't really serve that usually either. And so I have things to say about this stuff. But overall, very well done, Corny. Uh, Corny Seatsma, love your stuff. You'll get a shout in the newsletter. Another
It's
couple of
yeah.
things. Yeah, go ahead. But go
So
ahead.
so it's funny that he said it's like on the left and on the right, and I'm like, well, what's in the middle then? Like, are you are you standing there alone, or what's the deal with that? I think the middle probably I would define maybe as more practical people, those who understand the criticism and they see the negatives, but they see the positives as well, and
Yeah,
just try to do something with it. And yeah,
yeah.
like you said, it's people love to have to just hate for no reason sometimes. Um, yeah, but
Okay. One other thing, I didn't have. Uh, had an experience this week
mm,
that is not in a blog post, but that I want to talk about just because it was like so striking to me. I was in a couple days of S4 HANA public cloud like workshops for a particular SAP
mhm,
customer, and there was I was just like since I was not since I don't work for the customer, I can't like complain about this process and why it doesn't work for me or whatever. I
mhm,
can't do that. I just like am in the background, kind of watching, observing, whatever. And so I'm bouncing around between these sessions. And there was a session off in a small room, maybe six people total in this session. And I gotta tell you, the woman who ran this session was an absolute ninja master.
mm,
And what it was like, it was, I don't even know, something about purchasing. I completely forget the subject matter because I hadn't studied up on this customer's processes and this stuff.
mhm,
I was observing workshops. But like this woman who is I guess you could call her kind of a functional analyst in a sense.
mhm,
Like it was like she was like everybody's favorite preschool teacher who like knew exactly when the students were getting cranky and it was like time for cookies,
mm,
right?
yeah,
And who knew exactly who could just completely like read the situation where like, oh, this kid over here hasn't quite learned to read yet or whatever, so I need to give
yeah,
them pictures. Like
yeah,
she understood so much about the situation and she had done so much homework and prep that like the situation went from like people like sort of scratching their heads and going, I don't know about this, to like everybody like this is all business people, so it's not really like, you know, charismatic, exciting stuff. But like
Yeah.
at the end, people walking on the door like, okay, cool, I get it. I know exactly where we're going. Like there was a palpable sense of this woman like set the tone, set the pace, and laid down the tracks to this perfect workshop. It was
Mhm.
so good. And so this is my long way around of saying, because I did a piece, I don't know, a few a few issues ago, I don't even remember how many, of like some of my favorite traits of like the like architects out there
Mhm.
in the world.
Mhm.
And I've been very fortunate in my career to have worked with also a number of like just super great functional analyst
Yeah.
type people, business analyst
Mhm.
people. And I want to do a similar thing of like in praise of those people, as well as like here are the traits that make someone just like
Yeah.
an incredible functional analyst. Because like I would like just based on this workshop alone, if I was like starting a consulting company for myself, I would
Mhm.
try to hire this person in a heartbeat because she was Yelena, she was so good at
Mhm.
this. It was incredible. Um, yeah, so that's my other thing I'm going to write about, but I have nobody. As far as I can tell, nobody has written exactly what I want to say about it. So I'll just have to say it myself.
Awesome. All right, folks. So that's our three stories each and some bonus content for you. And make sure to like and subscribe. That really helps us to see that you support us. We promise
And
not to spam you or
and
anything.
sign up for the platinum edition too, and get
Yeah,
extra
yeah,
bonus
exactly. Extra,
goodies.
extra, extra goodies or something. Yeah, like gold-plated newsletter. That's gonna be delivered, printed out on the ink printer and delivered to your door 2 weeks after the email it should go because of shipping delays. All right. So thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye everyone.
Bye.